Okay, so I have a fresh installation of HomeAssistant which I've just installed on this slim PC. I actually had to put an external USB drive on it to boot up a Linux distribution, and then from the Linux distribution I then downloaded the Berliner Retcher and installed the HomeAssistant operating system on it. So this is running native on the PC. Of course, you can run them in virtual machines in Windows or in Linux as well, but I prefer this way as it's more performant and has less issues. Okay, so I'm just going to do the very initial setup in this first video. So first thing you have to do is create your name and password. So I'm going to do that now. Okay, creating my account. You can put your location in here. It's not usually important unless you're doing some special automations around that, but I will fill it in with something and then move forward. Okay, some analytics settings. Happy to give some of that statistics. And it's found some of my devices right away. So I do have Google Nest, I've got Apple TV, and Tua is some of the smart devices like smart switches and things. Okay, so first thing you do with HomeAssistant once it's ready, I would generally add a few basics to this that you might need to get things going. So if we go into settings, obviously I've got an update pending here because I obviously didn't install the latest version. So I'll probably do my update later. It's not going to make a big difference right this second. Let's have a look at the system settings. General, I've set to GMT. That's correct. So that's okay for my locale. Then see if there's anything in devices and services. So these are some of the things that it's found already. These are HomeKit versions and they're not actually the native device, so I'm not going to add those right now. What you can do here, add integration. You can search for new integrations and download and install them. I'm not going to do that quite yet. You see devices, it's going to list the devices you found. As you get integrations, you're going to get new devices, and entities will list all the things associated with those devices. Then add-ons is a store where you can add add-ons rather than integrations, and there's some useful ones here that you're probably going to want. So file editor is really important for changing your configuration. So this is something I would download and install right away. So I'll install the file editor now, and there's not much to configure the file editor, but I would turn off enforce base path so you can get to things like add-ons directory. I think that's quite important, and then start it. Still waiting for this to start. Check the whole file out. I need to do add show in the sidebar. That's what I was missing. So now it's going to show here, and I've got my file editor, and I can browse the file system. So HomeAssistant is the configuration directory for HomeAssistant. It's got configuration.yaml in it, which is the master configuration. This is the one you need to add your own automations and things to. And then I thought I changed that enforce base path, but it doesn't look like it took. So let's just go back to that file editor again, configuration, turn off the enforce base path. I forgot to hit save. There we go. So if I save that this time, well, hopefully now, once the add-on starts, so now the editor's loaded and I can actually go back out of there and I can see this add-on configs directory, which will become important later, and I can see the other directories in HomeAssistant. So that's good. The other thing you might want on add-ons here is SSH. Advanced SSH and Web Terminal, and then I'll install that one. Okay, I don't know if there's any real configuration here. This just allows you to add extra packages and things and configure the network settings. Let's turn on show in sidebar and start this one up as well. And then that will give you, when it's loaded, that should give us access to a terminal. It's obviously still loading. I forgot to hit the start button, so now I've done that. And still not loaded. So if I look at the log file here, sorry, I just went into add-ons, SSH log, I can see an error saying I haven't set an SSH password. So actually, what I need to do is set the username and password for it to be able to log in. So I set a basic admin. I suggest you change it to something more secure yourself. But hopefully that might resolve the issue. No. So I hit save in the wrong place. I need to save here, not down here on the network. So hopefully this will start now. Let's check the log again. That's looking a bit more suitable. And hopefully now, there we go. So we've got a terminal that allows us to type commands in here. You might need that for installing some things later. Okay. So some other things that you might want, obviously you're going to add the devices and services for your particular devices on the network, so things that you want to be able to control. So if you want to go and find an integration, you can find your different starts devices. For example, if Google Nest is there, you need to go. I need to go to the store and actually add them. So I think one of the things I'm missing, you need to go and turn on advanced mode. You click on yourself and then you go across to advanced mode. And so once you're in advanced mode, then you get additional things that you can do here. Where is it? Not there. Actually what I was thinking of is you go to, it's in the add-ons where you have the add-on store, and then you can do repositories and you can add new repositories here. And some of the add-ons actually then allow you to download extra devices as well. So the next one I'm going to do is Octopus Energy. If you're with Octopus Energy, you're going to want the integration for that. So I'm going to see if I can find the Octopus one here. So actually, I'm going to have to find out how to install that one. So I shall call it up. Octopus by BottleCap Dave. And we shall find some installation. So actually, we need HACS to add this. So that is the first. It's actually the first thing that we need to do is add HACS. HACS isn't an integration, it's an add-on. So we need to go to the add-on store and we need to find HACS, but I think we actually need to add the repository here for HACS. So if I go to repository, I go HACS, HomeAssistant. So HACS is something that allows you to download other add-ons. So it's a very powerful tool for downloading stuff without having to manually add each one of the repositories. So here's the documentation, and we actually have to do something to install it here. We installed the SSH, so that's what we did earlier. So we need to run this script on the SSH. So let's go back to HomeAssistant. I knew there was a reason why I was adding SSH. So if I pull up the terminal, and hopefully I can paste that command. Oop, I didn't quite have the paste didn't quite work properly. We actually needed wget -o dash wget -o dash, and then the rest of that. And hopefully that's. And it says remember to restart HomeAssistant afterwards, which is what it's saying here. So let's do a restart now. System, and we're going to restart HomeAssistant. Okay, so HomeAssistant's restarted now. So hopefully now we could find. I can't remember if HACS was in the add-on store. It might have been in the devices and services. Let me see, where is it? There it is, devices and services. So you have to click a bunch of things to say, yeah, don't worry. And you also want to enable experimental features. And then you have to copy this code. And you have to use this GitHub login to your GitHub just to activate it. And that's just so it can actually access the information in GitHub. And now we have HACS over here, which is really nice. This will allow us to download other things. So Octopus Energy is in here, for example. That was the one that we probably wanted. And I can install this. Obviously, if you've got a different energy provider, there may be some integrations for those. I'm not exactly sure which ones. So select the latest version, download it. That was fairly quick, but I believe with HACS that what we actually have to do once it's downloaded is restart. So we need to see if that's shown as downloaded already. So restart required, and click submit, and it's restarting. Should only take a few. You can see they're waiting for reconnect, and there we are. It's coming back up slowly. The more things you've got installed on HomeAssistant, the longer it takes to boot. So this is really quick, so I've hardly got anything installed. But back to devices and services, and hopefully now Octopus Energy is now there. That's good. So now what you need to do is you need to get your API key from your account. So you can use this, you log into your Octopus account, find your API key. If you've got an Octopus Mini, check this one here as well, and then hit submit. So I'll do that now. So then once you've submitted that, it'll ask you which area you want to put your meters in. It doesn't really matter, but you can put devices in different areas. And that gives me Octopus Energy. And now I can see it's going to take a little while to refresh all these things. They don't immediately start. This is probably a very good time now to take control of your dashboard. You don't want everything on here. So what you would normally do is go edit dashboard. So edit dashboard, take control. Start with an empty dashboard, take control. So now I have a dashboard and I can add my own cards to it. That's really the way you want to build them up. And so then you can choose what you want to add here. So for example, current rate. that's my gas and my electricity. So electricity current rate, for example, and I can see I'm currently at 30p. So you can build and customize your dashboards in the way you like. Another thing to add in HACS here is find the Apex chart card. You're going to want that later on. It does really cool graphs, as you can see. So let's download that one. And it'll get downloaded. And I think that's about it. It's quite a simple one here. Because it's the user interface, all you have to do is reload your browser and it works. I think there's also an HTML card, Lovelace HTML card. This one is a good one to have. It allows you to display raw HTML. You might need those ones later. And there's also a stacked one, vertical stack card. That's another one that's used by things like Predbat, for example. I'll download and install that one now. And there we go. So I probably need to go and add some devices on here now. Go and find my own devices and add them in. Everybody's got different devices. You can have a look here, see if they're in integrations or see if they're in add-ons. So I'm not sure on the add-on store, for example, if I can get eWelink. May not be in there. Maybe under HACS. You can also have to search under HACS because they're and if you can't find them on any of them, Sun off LAN is one of them, but that's over LAN rather than remote. So it looks like eWelink has got a an add-on. So if I copy this link address and I can go to settings, add-ons, add-on store, repositories, and I can add that add-on. And hopefully if that works, I will then download that, and if I'll just wait a little bit of time, maybe refresh the window, then here it goes. And now I can install it. So this is effectively how it goes with HomeAssistant. Some things are devices, some things are add-ons, and some things you have to install through HACS, and then they can be available as an add-on or a device, depending on how HACS installs them. So HACS is a way of installing stuff that's not in the standard store. The main difference is a device is like a tight integration. It's like a device that HomeAssistant controls, whereas an add-on is like a separate application that runs on the same system. And some things are one and some are the other, so you just need to find them for each one of your devices you want to control, and so you can get your system together and have visibility on all your different smart devices. So hopefully my eWelink add-on is now installed, and here it is, and then I can configure it. There's not much to change here, so we need to start it. And this one's got its own web UI, so I show that in the sidebar and I click on it. And this is quite nice because I just sign into my normal account here and it will work. And so now eWelink's installed and it's got its own dashboard here, but I can actually go into a HomeAssistant and see the different entities associated with it. One thing that's quite useful is this developer tools. If you go to states, you can see all the different states, the different sensors in the whole of HomeAssistant. And you can scan through there, or you can search for things. So for example, I search for garage. So if I search for hallway, for example, I can see this one's showing unavailable at the moment. But you can see the different sensors and their states, etc. The other thing you can do is some of the devices. For example, if you browse through to them, you can see 4 devices. I can see my charger, a electric meter, export meter and gas meter, and if I click on one of them like gas meter, it shows me the different sensors and entities for them. And if I wanted this all on the dashboard, I can just do add to dashboard like this, and then if I do that, that'll appear here in my dashboard, and then I can edit and OK and say, well, I don't necessarily want all of these. Let's say I don't care about the previous rates, so let's just take those off. The other thing you can do is change the names here, I think. Not there. Sorry, in here, you click onto that, then you do settings, you can type in your own friendly name. So whatever you want, like gas consumption accumulative update, and then you can see that will show up in there. Okay, thanks then.